Oh là là. And what, mon ami, have we here?
Howdy folks, and another warm welcome to the Diecast Distress Call channel. I thought that I should do something a little different, so today I shall be looking at the vintage Matchbox catalogue of 1968. And thanks again Inspector for your outstanding efforts in turning up this vintage Matchbox catalogue.
You're most welcome, mon ami, and I am happy that this book lays now in your good hands.
On the front cover of the collector's catalogue, you have the Matchbox bold lettering, its registered trademark, and the price of the catalogue, which back then in 1968 was 3D. Now 3D, back in the day, before the UK decimal currency came into circulation in 1971, was actually 3 pennies. Pennies were, confusingly, abbreviated to D. This is because the Latin word for this coin was denarius, which is even more curious as denarius was an ancient Roman coin. 3 pennies. The coin was sometimes referred to as a 3-penny bit. The word was often pronounced threepenny or threepence. On the front cover of the catalogue we have an interesting top-down photo of the 1968 Matchbox model cars all facing the same direction, inside large 1968 numerals. The catalogue is of A4 paper thickness and measures around 14 cm by 11 cm and has 40 mostly color glossy pages. The booklet is held together in the middle by a single metal staple, as the catalogue was also printed for international markets. I am sure that many different international currencies are featured on the cover pages. And as we turn to page 2, we have an advertisement for the Matchbox collector's case, with its 4 plastic compartments which can each hold 12 model cars. A great idea by Matchbox so that young boys can carry their favorite models around with them wherever they go, inside this sturdy protective case. Again the price is indicated and the dimensions of the carrying case. This Matchbox collector's case is very rare and has indeed become a collector's item. On page 3, we have various photos of models from 1 to 9. And on the right-hand side is a grid, where the young lads are encouraged to tick the box, yes, if he has indeed one of these models in his collection. A small text box is present on the page referring to which model has an incorporated towing hook, and a small tow hook symbol is under the model. The size of the model is also indicated below the model. If I was to pick one of these models, personally I think that I would go for number 8, the Ford Mustang. Turning to page 4, we have some fine Matchbox artwork of a busy maritime port and large cargo steamships. Featuring the models number 1 and 2, the Mercedes covered truck and its trailer, it looks like it's just pulling away after being loaded by the key crane. Also in the artwork we can see another model on the port side which looks like the number 67 Volkswagen 1600 TL. Page 4 also highlights photos of the models number 10, 14, and 18. Turning to page 5, we have photos of various different models from 10 to 21, with the boxes to tick on the right-hand side of the page. If I was to choose one from this page, it would be number 14, the ISO Griffo, which looks a beauty. Moving on to page 6, we have some more fabulous artwork of a motorbike racing competition, in what looks like the typical British countryside. Possibly the artwork is based on the Isle of Man TT, tourist trophy motorcycle races. The artist has certainly given the impression of speed and movement for the 2 motorbikes, which gives the painting a sense of action. Again, much depth of the landscape has been included. In the background we can see 2 Matchbox models which are the unmistakable number 38 Honda motorcycle and its trailer. The vehicle towing the trailer I think is the Ferrari Berlinetta, as it has a rear towing hook, and came in 2 colors, metallic green and red gloss. Let me know in the comments which model you think it is. Moving on to page 7, we have an assortment of models from number 23 to 33, and the usual boxes to tick on the right-hand side. If I was to pick a model from these pages, I think that I would pick the Pontiac Grand Prix. And turning to page 8, we have another beautiful piece of artwork of a summer country farm scene with such stunning distance in the landscape. The 3 models featured in the artwork are the numbers 39, the Ford tractor, and the number 40, the accompanying hay trailer loaded with bales of hay, and the number 4 stake truck, which is loaded and delivering something to the farm. There is so much detail in these artworks. And we have the models 34, 38, and 42. On page 8, we have models from 35 to 45, the boxes to tick on the right. If I had to tick a box, it would certainly be the number 39, the Ford tractor. And flicking onto pages 10 and 11, we have an amazing assortment of models from series number 46 to 63, and oh boy, there are certainly some little gems here to look at. On the right side of page 11, we have the usual boxes to tick. I think that my mind is set on the Mercedes 300 SE. Moving on to pages 12 and 13, we have some very popular models from number 64 to number 75 displayed, and on the right of page 13, we have an ornate text box where the owner of the catalogue can write in his name and address and complete the number of models that he has in his collection in the year 1968. A nice idea to interact with their young customers. At the bottom right-hand corner, Matchbox has introduced 2 new models. The number 26B Foden concrete truck or mixer, and the number 47C DAF tipper container truck. The diagrams and photos show the working mechanisms of each model. Turning pages to 14 and 15. We have the artwork advertisement for the Matchbox R1, the R2 and the R3 roadway layouts. These Matchbox layouts were large card sheets printed with roads, junctions, landscapes, water bodies and other features, plus many cut out and assemble extra items such as buildings, bridges, signposts etc. These layouts were punched out of a card sheet, which along with the folded roadway, was sold inside a wrap-around cardboard sleeve with printed assembly diagrams. You can see the motto on page 14, which reads, "Fold away and play another day." These layouts were great for kids to get them out and spread them on their bedroom or living room floors, and play on them with their favorite models. Here are a few photos which gives an idea of what the original layouts looked like. Turning to pages 16 and 17, we have an advertisement and presentation for the Matchbox MG1 service station and forecourt. I presume MG1 stands for Matchbox Garage 1. These Matchbox service stations are very rare and hard to acquire, and can fetch a hefty price in auctions if they are in a good or mint condition. The packaging of the service station came in the form of a giant matchbox. Again, the artwork is awesome and highly detailed. I can also see some of my favorite models again at the service station. It appears to have come with its own fold-away cardboard layout base. I have included some photos of this Super BP Matchbox service station. Well, Inspector? Are you up for the challenge for a new assignment to find one of these little gems?
I am always ready, monsieur. We at the Sûreté never drop our guard, and I am sure monsieur that this little gem will be found.
So having a look now at page 17, we have something a little different here. This page is a Did You Know? Trivial information facts oriented around automobiles, inventors and world historical records and achievements. Some very interesting information here. Especially that over 130 countries imported Matchbox miniature models back in 1968 from London, England. That piece of information was really astonishing. Now on to pages 18 and 19 of the 1968 catalogue, with a Matchbox king size range from K1 to K3. 1960 saw the introduction of a new range of larger scaled models. On the back of the success of the major packs and models of yesteryear ranges, Lesney introduced the new range of larger scale models titled King Size. This range would continue to expand for the next 10 years, eventually having 24 models in total. The range was, like the miniatures, superseded with the advent of superfast wheels and rebranded in 1970 as Super Kings. Here on page 19 we can see the K1 Hoveringham tipper truck. The Hoveringham Foden tipper truck is really a nice looking chunky model, with a working mechanical feature that can raise and lower the truck's dump bed. This particular model was produced in both the larger king size and the smaller 1:75 scales, which we saw as number 17 on page 5 of this catalogue. Significant gravel resources were found in the Nottinghamshire village of Hoveringham in the United Kingdom. The Hoveringham Gravel Company began extracting gravel in the area in 1939 and was eventually acquired by Tarmac in 1982. In honor of the discovery of a prehistoric mammoth's remains in its quarrying operations, the Hoveringham Gravel Company once displayed a mammoth as their logo on their trucks. Released in 1963, the Foden tipper truck, K2B, was the second king-size model with the K1 slot. It stayed inside that range until 1971. The only difference is that it's always an orange tipper on a red chassis cab. The plastic suspension is either green or white depending on the situation, but that doesn't affect the model's worth. A promotional version was released by Hoveringham Gravels Limited in their own box. If you can locate one of these, it's a rather desirable collectible. Moving on to the K2 KW Dart dumper truck, an open cast mining and quarrying 100-ton vehicle, which came in the color yellow with red wheels. It had mechanical bed lift cylinders on either side of the body, so that the bed could lift up and dump its contents. A great heavy-duty vehicle to play in the sand with. Next up we have on this page the K3 Hatra tractor front loader shovel, was introduced to the range in 1965. It had red plastic wheels and had a consistently orange body. This tractor provided Matchbox with twice the value in both small and large-scale applications, since it fell within the 1:75 number 69 range and king-size ranges. You can see the smaller version model on page 12 of this catalogue, which came in all yellow. The scale of these king-size models were around 1.43 scale, a lot larger than the normal Matchbox models, and tended to have more mechanical and moving parts. Now let's get back to page 18 and admire the artwork. Here we have a construction scene at a large hydroelectric dam. Again, the detail and depth of the artwork is fabulous, and captures the movement of the water from the reservoir being forced through the dam's turbines. A jumbo crane number K14 is placed in the middle of the picture, undertaking a lift of steel girders and lowering them down to the awaiting construction workers. Turning the pages to number 20 and 21, which is the center page of the catalogue, we have the Matchbox Lesney featured king-size models, K4 to K6. Incidentally, the logo for the Matchbox king size is a large blue letter K with king size written in white inside it. The king size range models were more expensive than the normal regular size models, and often out of reach of the budget of a young boy's pocket money or savings. Featured here is the K4 GMC Fruhof tractor with its hopper train. The M4 came in maroon and silver with red plastic hubs and black treaded tires, a silver trim and its decals. The model was quite long and measured in length 286 mm. Hence why Matchbox placed its photo in the center pages of this catalogue. On page 21, we can see the photo of the rear of one of the hoppers, indicating that the hopper chutes actually can open and the contents can be emptied. On page 20 we can see number K5, the racing car transporter, and a rear photo indicating that its rear door can open and provide split ramps for the racing cars to enter and exit the transporter. BP logos are also present on the side of the racing car transporter. Although unfortunately this lovely model did not contain a racing car, which many kids were disappointed. Moving on to page 21, we have the K6 model, the Mercedes-Benz ambulance. To the right of the artwork, there is a diagram indicating the steering mechanism, the suspension, a casualty figure on a stretcher, and that all the ambulance doors fully open. The artwork is as usual to a high standard, and the landscape resembles somewhere in the Bavarian Alps with a spectacular backdrop landscape with dense forests and high mountain peaks. It appears that there has been an accident of some description, and the casualty is being carried on a stretcher down some steps to the parked-up ambulance. One uniformed officer is holding a blanket and is awaiting his colleagues to arrive with the injured party. Turning the pages to numbers 22 and 23, firstly we have the K7 SD refuse truck. The abbreviations SD are Shelvoke and Drury, which was a manufacturer of special-purpose commercial vehicles in Letchworth, Hertfordshire in the United Kingdom. It was best known for its innovative waste collection vehicles that were the preferred choice of municipal authorities in the UK, together with their gully emptiers, cesspool cleaning vehicles and street watering and washing vehicles. A similar smaller model Ford refuse truck from the 175th series number 7 is on page 3 of this catalogue. And just below the refuse truck we have the K9. Oh no. Not you, Rutley, and I don't have any medals for you. The K9 combined harvester was quite a large chunky model. You can see the dimensions indicated in inches and decimals next to the model. It appears that this model came in two different colors, generally in green, with red plastic blades, but also in red, with yellow blades. Maybe someone in the comments knows why this is. Also, some models have the operator figure included and others do not. I think that we have another mystery here to solve. The blades on the harvester actually rotated. But I am not sure if they were synchronized with its wheels. When the model is pushed along a flat surface. Additionally, the grain outlet tube can swing in and out from the grain tank on the side of the body. Now looking at K8 on page 23, we have the car transporter, which again is quite a large model, and has interesting mechanical features, where the rear ramp on the trailer and top deck have a sliding hinge that can lower the top deck to give access and egress to model cars. The transporter can easily accommodate 4 of the smaller scale 1 to 75 series models. There appears to be 2 different colors to the transporter, one all yellow and one with a turquoise cab and an orange trailer. But just take a moment to look at the artwork on the interior of the box. On the same page number 23, we have the K10 Scammel pipe transporter truck, with again another piece of fabulous artwork of the trailer truck delivering gas or water pipes to an ongoing pipe-laying construction project. 2 jumbo cranes can also be seen working simultaneously in the background. The model came with 6 grey plastic pipes, which I presume could be fitted together. This model was produced in 1969 up to 1975, and the scale was 1 to 69. Moving on to pages 24 and 25, we have firstly the K11 Ford Sun tractor and farm trailer. Ford Sun was a brand name of tractors and trucks. It was used on a range of mass-produced general-purpose tractors manufactured by Henry Ford and Son. The model came in royal blue with red plastic wheel hubs. The trailer was silver and could be tilted to dump its load. Continuing on, we have the K12 Heavy Foden breakdown wreck truck, which was produced from 1963 to 1968. Which came in a racing green body with a yellow crane jib, which was the standard BP livery used in most models. This model usually has red plastic wheels hubs, however there were examples where the models had unpainted metal wheel hubs. On the same page we have the K13 Ready Mix Concrete ERF truck, orange body, except for the chute at the rear, red plastic wheel hubs and the ready mix decals, and was produced from 1963 to 1967. The barrel on the mixer had a mechanical feature where it was able to rotate. Turning onto page 25, we have the K14 Taylor Jumbo Mobile Crane. The Lesney Matchbox king-size K14 Taylor Jumbo Crane joined the range in 1964 and was produced up to 1970. The first of the cranes were painted yellow all over, including the counterweight box. They had green tinted plastic windows and were enhanced with a red and white striped decal applied to the front bumper. Red plastic wheel hubs and a metal silver hook. The crane's jib can be raised and lowered. The artwork in this presentation is of a maritime port scene, with the jumbo crane on a quayside, with a backdrop of a busy port with some moored steamships. Moving on to the K15 Merryweather fire engine. The Lesney Matchbox king-size K15 Merryweather turntable fire escape joined the range in 1964 and was produced until 1970. It had a red painted body and ladder turntable with a grey metal lower ladder and a grey plastic upper ladder, The cab was fitted with green plastic windows and was enhanced with silver trim to the front bumper, headlights and radiator grille. Shield decals were applied to the doors along with Kent Fire Brigade to the sides of the body and number 18 to the sides of the cab. The artwork on the presentation shows an action scene of two fire engines with their ladders extended, responding to a major fire at a fuel storage depot. The firefighters are seen fighting the fire with their hoses spraying foam onto the blazing fuel tank. Turning the pages to 26 to 27, we have the awesome Lesney Matchbox king-size K16 Dodge tractor unit with twin tipping trailers, which was introduced in the 1965 catalogue as being the new Major Pack M7, but before it was released Lesney decided to delete the entire Major Pack range, so the Dodge was released in the king-size range at number K16. With its tough-looking American cab and twin tippers, it was an instant hit and became one of Lesney's best-selling king-size models. The Dodge tractor unit and the trailer chassis were painted green, while the tipping hoppers and tailgates were painted yellow. The wheel hubs were red plastic and were fitted with black plastic tires, and the cab featured plastic windows and silver trim to the headlights and bumper. It was also adorned with die-cast air horns and an air filter that were usually silver-plated but not always. This model certainly was king-size and measured in length a whopping 302 mm, and just look at the box art, truly astounding. On page 27, we have the Matchbox king-size K17 4D 800 articulated low loader with a case bulldozer, which was introduced by Lesney in 1966. The tractor and trailer were painted green throughout, with the exception of the yellow gasoline tanks, which, when lifted, detached the tractor unit from the trailer. Since the base plate was painted silver and the grille was molded into it, silver trim was not necessary. The cab featured a red roof beacon and polycarbonate windows tinted green. Both the tractor and the trailer had black plastic tires on red plastic hubs, with an extra wheel fixed on top of the trailer. The bulldozer was painted red on the outside and had a yellow baseplate with the engine and dozer blade cast into it. It also had yellow plastic rollers and a detachable yellow metal cab roof. Up until later models, it had green rubber tracks, but black rubber ones were added. There were decals for Lang on the tractor unit and the bulldozer, but later Taylor Woodrow decals were installed. Incidentally, Lang and Taylor Woodrow were major construction companies in the UK. Additional decals placed on the rear of the tractor cab and the rear of the bulldozer cab. You can see on the page a technical diagram indicating the quick-action uncoupling mechanism. That case bulldozer with its livery of red, yellow, and green Caterpillar tracks, I think that you may agree, is a real beauty. Looking at page 26, we have the fabulous Matchbox king-size number K18 Dodge Q Fargo articulated horse transporter. The British-built Q Dodge, designed in America, made its debut as the Lesney Matchbox king-size K18 Dodge Q Fargo articulated horse transporter in 1966. It featured a clear plastic window unit and a red painted cab with silver-plated air horns mounted to the roof. The baseplate included the grille, bumper, and headlights, and the doors featured a red and white decal with a picture of a horse's head on it. The tractor unit has the tan-painted trailer permanently attached to it. With a clear plastic window pane and white plastic living space, it featured Ascot Stables decals on both sides. The horse doors, ramps, could be lowered and raised to allow the 4 white plastic horses that came with the model access and egress into the trailer. The wheel hubs came in red plastic, and the trailer also had a separate plastic interior for the stables area, which can be found in many different and varied colors. And moving on to page 27, we have the Lesney Matchbox king-size K19 Scammell tipper truck, which joined the king-size range in 1967. It had a red body and chassis with an orange-yellow or cadmium-yellow tipper bin. The baseplate was silver-plated and included the front bumper and headlights and the steps below the doors as part of the casting. It had a silver-plated air horns on the roof and it has a red grille. The doors also had a label or decal displaying a white triangle in a white circle, representing a haulage company. I'm not too sure. If anyone knows what the decals actually represent, by all means if you could share the info in the comments. The wheel hubs were red plastic fitted with black plastic tires. The model was fitted with a mechanical feature, the General Matchbox hydro sleeve, which would hold the tipper body in the raised position for dumping the contents. Turning the page to number 28, we have the Lesney Matchbox king-size K20 24D 800 articulated tractor transporter. This had a red painted tractor unit and trailer with either red or yellow fuel tanks which when raised would uncouple the trailer. The cab had a red roof beacon, green tinted windows and a silver plated base plate which included the grille detail in the casting. The trailer had a yellow plastic ramp that had arms to hold the tractor load in position. The tractors are regular 39C1 to 75 issues that are painted blue with yellow plastic hubs and black plastic tires and steering wheel. However, later models were issued with orange 39C Ford tractors. These are now very rare items and much sought after by collectors. Hey, I have an idea. Maybe, just maybe one of our intrepid detectives could be put on the case.
Baby, I do.
Cracker!
Cheers, Lieutenant. Now following on, page 28, we have the magnificent king-size number 12 Mercury Cougar. The Mercury Cougar was the first passenger vehicle to join the range. It was always painted metallic gold and had opening doors and clear plastic windows. The baseplate was silver-plated and contained the grille and headlights as part of the casting. The wheel hubs were chrome-plated metal, and the tires were black rubber. The interior was normally red plastic, however a few have been found with off-white interiors. The model had true guide steering, which allowed the front wheels to be turned by pushing the car in the desired direction. This was owing to the additional traction provided by the rubber tires, which allowed the steering system to function. Although the model only came in metallic gold paint, the advertising for the model was pictured in a metallic blue and sometimes presented in red. The 1-75 series Mercury Cougar came in a cream color with an ivory interior and was later changed to having a metallic lime green color with a red interior. And on the right-hand side of the page we have the numbered tick box chart, with the question, are these models in your collection? Well, I hope that someday they will be. Now turning the page to number 29, we have the Matchbox models of yesteryear collection. Lesney developed these models of yesteryear series in 1956 to supplement the Matchbox 1-75 series line, which had been in production since 1953. The models were based on historical vehicles rather than modern ones, and the collection was geared toward adult collectors rather than youngsters. The collection was developed up until 1996. Moving on to pages 34 and 35, we have a presentation of the Matchbox gift set packs, abbreviated as G1, G2, G3, G4, G5 and G6. The G1 theme is a service station set which includes the 1-75 models number 13D, BP Dodge Wreck truck. The number 56 Fiat 1500 painted in red, which today is a very hard model to find, as they're usually a turquoise color unless you have some of the best detectives in the world to assist you. And finally the number 32, BP Leyland petrol tanker. The gift set included the BP Matchbox M G1 service station, which we previously looked at on page 16 of this catalogue. Every boy's dream to get this set for their birthday or a Christmas present. Here we have the gift set number G2, the theme here is transportation, which included the king-size K8 car transporter and accompanied by 4 1-75 models. From top left we have the number 53 Ford Zodiac Mark IV. Top right, we have the number 33 Ford Zephyr. Bottom left we have the number 14, ISO Grifo, and last but not least the legendary number 24 Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow. Turning on to the Matchbox gift set G3, we have a lovely farming theme, which included the 1-75 series models from left to right, the number 40 the hay trailer, number 39, the Ford tractor, number 43 the pony trailer, the number 12, the Land Rover Safari, number 65 the combine harvester, number 37 cattle truck, number 72 the standard Jeep, and finally the number 4 stake truck. These gift sets were aimed at being combined with the Matchbox cardboard play sets, the R1 roadway, R2 construction site, and R3 farmyard scenic playground layouts. Imagine those youngsters back in the day receiving this double whammy as a gift. What joy! Ticking along to the next Matchbox gift set, we have the spectacular G4 Race N Rally set, which included a 10 models from the 1-75 series, previously featured in this catalogue. The models, numbers 52, the BRM Formula 1 racing cars, the number 3C Mercedes-Benz Benz ambulance, the 80 Ford Mustang, 2 different color 19D Lotus F1 racing cars, the number 25D Ford Cortina with yellow plastic roof rack, the number 29C Fire Pumper Truck, the number 41C Ford GT40, the number 67B Volkswagen 1600. I heard from my spies in the bush that, apparently the Ford Cortina with the yellow roof rack is very rare and was only produced specifically for this particular gift set. And on to the prestigious G5 gift set, famous cars of yesteryear. This set consisted of 4 Matchbox yesteryear models, the number Y9 1912 Simplex, the number Y4 1909 Opel Coupe, the number Y12 1909 Thomas Flyabout, the number Y14 1911 Maxwell Roadster. These are very elegant models and were probably produced and marketed for adults or older boys. I can't honestly remember these as a young boy or any of my friends having any yesteryear models in their collections. However, there was something that jogs the memory a little.
Right behind is the Anthill Mob in their bulletproof bomb.
And the final Matchbox gift set is the G6 with a trucking and haulage theme. This set regular wheels 1 to 75 range consisted of the numbers 1, the Mercedes truck, but no trailer unfortunately. The number 21 Foden concrete truck, the number 10 pipe truck, the number 60 Leyland truck with site office, the number 26 GMC tipper truck, the number 30 8-wheel Fawn crane, the number 49 Mercedes Unimog, and the number 70 Ford grit spreading truck. Now turning to pages 36 and 37, we have detailed information and photographs and general facts oriented around explaining all the different raw material and processes that are involved in the fabrication of the Matchbox toy models. From mining, metallurgy, and plastic production. Turning on to page 38, we have a continuation of the intricate processes of the paint, the boxes, and the manufacturing products of these little gems. I bet, like me, you didn't realize just how much went into making these Matchbox models. And moving along to page 39, we have a presentation for the Lesney veteran car gift sets for adults. Various ornate wooden boxes to hold cigarettes or cigars, with a yesteryear model fixed on top of the lid. Pipe trays with yesteryear models fixed on the side of the tray. And fountain pen stand with a yesteryear's model fixed to the base of the stand. The advertisement in the catalogue informs that these yesteryear models are plated in gold or silver finishes. What great corporate gifts! As back then, when it was permissible to smoke anywhere, these gifts were highly sought after. Now turning to the final and back page of the Matchbox catalogue, we have the Matchbox International 1968 price list, in some of the 15 countries' previous currencies and presented in a large spreadsheet of all their latest additions to the ranges. Notably the king-size range, the models of yesteryear, the gift sets, and the veteran gift sets. Well folks, I do hope that you enjoyed the video, as much as I did making it. There are a few things that I took away with me from this vintage Matchbox catalogue, and that was not just the colourful and miscellaneous models, also the detailed information on the processes and efforts that went into making these models, and yes, you probably guessed it, my love for fine art. The box art and advertising art was truly very impressive, and I will be certainly undertaking some future research into which artists painted and illustrated for the Matchbox company. Incidentally, as always on this channel, as soon as I get 2,000 likes, this collector's catalogue can be yours. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to help it grow. And most importantly, let me know in the comments what were your favorite models in the catalogue and what you're hoping to collect in the near future. Well, I'm off for a lovely cup of tea. Many thanks for watching, and as always, keep safe, be kind, and let's catch up in the near future.